I did magic for 6 hours in a warehouse party for Kanye West with one deck of cards.
Oh my.
And had the entire room floored.
You did this magic trick, all right? And everyone at the table was just speechless.
In today's episode, Deep, an agency owner who's generated hundreds of millions of views for his clients, sits down with Visionary Noir, a magician who regularly shocks the biggest names in Hollywood.
You've performed for Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, Kanye West. What's one of the best reactions you've gotten from some of these A-list celebs? I would beat myself up if we didn't do a magic trick on this episode, bro. So hit me with something if you are willing.
What do you got over there?
Ain't no way, bro. Kavi, my brother, welcome to the It's Not That Deep podcast, bro.
Thank you for having me.
We just met last night.
We did.
And I loved your vibe. You had a great energy to you. And one of the first things you told me is you're a magician.
Yeah.
But you're a lot more than that. I could tell, bro. You're deep. You've got a lot of different layers to you.
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep. We're already getting this started. I love it. Bro, I will say, though, and we'll dive into the different parts of your personality and what makes you you.
Yeah.
But you did this magic trick, all right? Unprompted. You're just like, you know what? Okay, let's do a magic trick. You pulled out this deck of cards. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's see. I've seen some magic before, but this one fucked me up. It's still on my mind. I've told like 7 people. It's
ChatGPT it?
No, I didn't ChatGPT it because I believe in keeping magic.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably something you experience a lot. Is like you show people a trick and half the people at least got to be like, yo, bro, but like, you could tell me.
Yeah, how'd you really?
How is that? Like, how do you feel about that whole side of the magic? Is that part of it? Are you cool with it? Do you wish people respected it more? Like,
I mean, I think that honestly, like, I respect magic for the process that it takes behind the scenes. And I understand that some people also, you know, they don't have like a lack of respect necessarily. They just want to appreciate it from a different perspective. And so, you know, for the right people at the right times, I've taught people like small things or, you know, shared things, but it is a tiresome question to like, I do get, you know, it's like, you know, the amount of jokes that I've had to create in order to deflect those like times where people are just like, yeah, like really tell me. And like, nah.
It's so interesting though, because like, you know, with other forms of like art or whatnot, you know, you don't go up to a rapper and it's like, yo, bro, how do you rap?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't go up to an actor like, yo, bro, like, tell me how you got into this. Like, people allow that. But when it comes to magic, I think for me, outside looking in, it comes from this like almost insecurity of like not knowing how you just got played.
Yeah.
How you just got basically mentally manipulated, right? That's not comfortable. That's not a comfortable feeling for a lot of people to sit in.
Yeah. And, you know, it's, I mean, uncomfortability breeds change and growth. So it's like, ultimately, again, like for the right people at the right times and the right circumstances, you know, I'll share certain things. But for most people, it's like, you know, you just have to sit with that.
Yeah, I love that, man. And that, you know what? I enjoy sitting in it because I want to keep it magic. But
yeah.
So just to go back to that story about last night, I mean, you pull out this deck of cards and then you hand an invisible deck to someone across the table.
Yeah.
And why don't you explain like what you actually did there? Not the magic, but what you did. You could explain a lot better than me.
Yeah, I mean, somebody had a deck of cards that you couldn't see physically. Chose a card, an imaginary card. I think it was the 7 of clubs.
It was the 7 of clubs.
And, you know, handed the cards off, told somebody, put the card back so it was the only face down card in the entire deck. And then closed the box up and I had a real deck of cards sitting on the table. And, you know, lo and behold, open up the real deck of cards. The same scenario. All the cards are face up. One card's face down. The only card face down is the one that came from this person's mind.
And everyone at the table was just speechless. Like no one wanted, at first it's like no one really wanted to admit that just happened.
Yeah.
everyone's just kind of in disbelief. And I found it so interesting seeing everyone's different like reaction. I'm sure you get off on that too. It's like, let's see how they react to this, because it says a lot about you, right? And like some people are like, dude, you got to tell me right now. Other people are like, wow, that was cool. That was just entertaining, whatever. Other people are like, man, like I can't believe it. Me, I really just appreciated the magic. I'm like, oh, this guy's good.
Yeah.
Later I find out, you know, you have been doing this for a very, very long time. How'd you get into this world, bro?
I think there's a balance of like boredom and like just creative curiosity with like a deck of cards. Like, you know, I started when I was maybe like around 9, and I used to, you know, take magic books from the library, make them disappear, and like study. I'm completely self-taught, so it was you know, it was like me being bored, but also like wanting a creative outlet that would allow me to, you know, not necessarily escape, but like change the circumstances of my reality, because everything wasn't always, you know, comfortable at that time. So magic was a way for me to like stay focused and, you know, kind of navigate that.
So how old were you when you like picked up that book and got started?
Probably about 9.
That's insane, man. And completely self-taught.
Yeah.
That's gotta be like,
It's been a minute. I mean, I actually I became the youngest African-American magician to become a member of the Magic Castle when I was like 15.
what's that? What's a magic castle?
The Magic Castle is like one of the oldest like magic clubs in the world. It's up in Hollywood Hills. I think it's over 100 years old.
Wow.
Harry Houdini was like one of the original investors in it. It was like somebody's house. It was this couple, and I think the husband was trying to convince the wife to like turn it into a club, like a members only club. And it turned into the Magic Castle, and you know, like that's the story of the castle in the hills. It's like right in Hollywood.
Cool, man.
But historically it's like a super private, invite only, exclusive like members club.
And so do you have a bunch of other magician friends that you learn from? Did you ever get like formal coaching or training on this? Like how'd you learn?
No, I mean, most of my like repertoire came from books, YouTube, and creating things at a point where, you know, I had the foundational, like the basics down. I don't have very many like magician friends. I have a few that I know of, like, but nobody that's like, you know, that I talk to on a daily basis or that I'm like learning things from. Like, usually I take it as like almost like not wanting to be influenced by other people's styles necessarily. Like, I don't even watch, like, I went on the David Blaine's Instagram for the first time in my entire life, like a couple months ago. Like, I was like, man, I've never been on David Blaine's Instagram, like never seen anything he's been doing, like, you know, and I just take that as kind of like creative freedom to allow my style and my, you know, my specific magic to be its own like thing.
You're totally like in your own lane. You're not trying to be overly influenced by other people. You want to just carve out your own niche and path. That's really interesting, man.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever dove into magic or anything like that, but it's a really interesting world because, I mean, I don't want to disrespect it in any way, so you know, be careful with my words here, but so much of it is like sleight of hand, right? So much of it is like distraction and manipulating people's attention, from what I understand of it. How do you, without asking how do you do it, like, but how do you like, when you have a group or people you're doing magic in front of, how do you decide what trick or what you want to show them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, and I've kind of explained this in different ways at different times, but ultimately, like, I have a very like intuitive approach to magic. And so a part of the reason that I don't take influence from other magicians. Not to say that I can't learn techniques or different things from them, but in terms of my performance style, it's a very intuitive approach. So I usually, when I enter rooms, I'm observing for the first like 30 minutes or an hour. Like if I enter a room, I'm observing people and observing who laughs a certain way, how people react, how people interact with the people that they're with. And then I bring a certain amount of material with me that sometimes I never use any of it. Sometimes I use something completely different, depending on the circumstance and the person. So it's very personal. It's very curated to the specific person or audience that I'm performing for at that time.
Interesting, bro. Because to me, a parallel, I mean, it's a completely different world, but there's things that I kind of take from that, and I'm like, I'm like that in this area, is sales.
Yeah.
So I run a company, and I've been doing all the sales for years, and like having closed, like, it sounds so cringe to say, but millions of dollars. Yeah. It's not about the collection of money, but it's about like, this is a spiritual exchange of energy.
Yeah.
Every call that I get on, and I used to have all these like weird thoughts about sales that I thought it's like a used car salesman. Like I had all this head trash around it. But what I've realized is that like, yeah, it's this transference of energy. It's downloading someone's vibe. I've never followed a script.
Yeah.
I don't really study other salespeople. Every time I've tried, like every time I hear about like, oh yeah, you got to like ask these 5 questions, it just doesn't work for me, because I'm like, bro, let me just get on this call or let me meet this person and feel their vibe.
Yeah.
And like, we'll just have a fucking conversation.
Yeah.
And then, but I'll pick up on cues. I'll be like, oh, okay, with this person, I may have to make myself a little bit smaller. With this person, I might have to make myself bigger. And it's not like really a conscious thing. It's just something that I just pick up on. Do you find that there's a similarity between sales and magic?
Yeah, I mean, you're selling people a dream, like literally in active time. Like anything that you do, as soon as you present it as magic, automatically there's 2 things people know. They know that it's impossible, meaning whatever you're going to show them is not real. But then they also know that they're potentially going to get fooled because you're a magician. So as a magician, you're selling somebody a story. And so it's like, it's storytelling and like world building more than anything else. And that's pretty much the same in sales. Like you're selling somebody not the product that you're selling them the story and the, you know, the essence behind it, or the process or the build or the, you know, whatever came, the concept, the idea. That's what you're selling them.
And I've had this difficult, I don't know if I would use this word, but it's kind of related to persuasion. Would you categorize magic as a form of persuasion, or is it just something else completely?
No, I think it's something different. I think that, well, for me, I'll say, because I think that it depends on the character that you, and when I say the character, I mean the persona that you choose to approach performing with. There's different characters. You play different characters at different times. And so for me and my character in that sense, when I'm performing, it's never about persuading the audience, because that means that
I have to convince them.
Exactly.
That's the same with sales. That's why I don't like using that word.
Yeah, because you want them to, my approach is, hey, I've been doing this for a long time, and throughout that long time, I've learned some pretty cool things. Let me show you those things.
Yeah.
And then you're showing them in a way where they're like, wow, that's super cool. Even if they know it's not true, even if they know it's not real, you don't have to persuade them, because you're just showing them something.
It's affirming their beliefs, essentially, like, is what you're doing. And I love what you said there, because that's exactly how I feel about, you know, sales. Sales is not one skill. It's like 15 different things kind of combined into one. And it's the same with magic. When you say magic, it could mean so many things. And really, I think what it comes down to is being intuitive, being present, and being observant.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about what you said, because that's something actually I noticed about you.
Yeah.
Is when you were at this dinner, it's a quiet dude, kind of looking around, scanning, doing his thing, not being, you know, completely completely introverted and just in the back, like not talking to anybody, but also not being the center of attention and commanding all this. It's an interesting dynamic, and I appreciate that about you, man.
Yeah. I think that there's a intentionality that goes into that way of being. For me, as a magician, it's like I know rambunctious magicians. I know that, like, hey, let me show you this thing. I'm the best. I'm Magic Castle. Like, and I'm very just not that. Like, I'm chill, you know. And if you get to the point of knowing that I do magic, then maybe I'll share the art with you.
Oh, I love that, bro. That's such a cool frame.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing I learned about you last night is that you're actually on retainer with your art, with your magic. I've never met a magician who's on retainer, bro. That's a flex, bro. That's the most casual flex, and I know you didn't say it to sound like that. We were just having a convo.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, that's crazy to me, man. That's cool, bro.
Never met a magician on retainer. And
I mean, look, anyone who looks into you, will see that you've performed for Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, so many Kanye West, so many celebrities that probably haven't even made it to the Instagram feed.
For sure.
But what's one of the best reactions you've gotten from some of these, A-list celebs?
A best reaction. Okay, so I'll say that A-list.
Okay, forget about the list thing. I was just trying to use LA terms.
Yeah. No.
I don't even know what that, forget that.
No,
just
like
celebrity.
Well, there's like Kanye status, and then there's like Earl Sweatshirt status, and I'll give you both.
Okay, please.
So the reaction, I would say the craziest reaction I've ever gotten from a celebrity would probably be Earl Sweatshirt.
Okay,
and it was back in the day when I was still doing street magic. It was at the Grove around Melrose area, and there's like this one part of the Grove, if you know LA, there's right next to the Wetzel's, and there's this building that's always a different thing. It's a pop-up, and in that pop-up building, I ran into Earl Sweatshirt. I personally, if you know me, if you're close to me, I'm the worst at recognizing celebrities and knowing who's who. I'm the absolute worst. I don't watch TV. I don't keep up with I just don't. So anybody who's with me, they're always like, yo, that's that person. Go do magic for them. I'm like, okay, cool. If I feel intuitively that I should go do that. So I think it was, a friend of mine, and they were like, yo, that's Earl Sweatshirt. And they were like, you know who that is? I was like, not really, but he's like, oh, this is da-da-da. I was like, all right, cool. And I walked up to him, I'm like, you want to see a magic trick? And I'll sidebar real quick. I think the reason that I'm so impactful in my approach is because I probably don't know who you are.
You're not putting them up on a pedestal.
Yeah, we're all people. I don't put anybody on any type of hierarchy. It's just you can be fooled just like everybody else. And if you think you can't, it's even better for me. So, I approached Earl Sweatshirt in the Grove, and I showed him this thing, and he's like, this ninja is a damn demon. I was like, I love God, but his reaction was so animated. He was like, I have a video of it on Instagram. He's literally jumping up and down, dreads up in his hands, like, yo, this dude made a pact with a damn demon. And then he ran out the store. I was like, that was hilarious. It's always funny to me when people liken the art to, they always, people ask me, demon magic, do you work with
Black
this
magic and this
and it's like, no, bro, again, this is that conversation of performative, manipulating attention, things like that. And I'm very open about what I'm doing. I can tell you it's sleight of hand and still impress you. It's for entertainment purposes. I think magic really comes into play in different areas. Real magic it's not performative, and it's not for entertainment purposes. So, yeah. And then if you want to know the other response,
please.
Kanye was cool. He was dope. I was in his studio in downtown, and
which looks insane, by the way. You showed a video like that. Like, that's not a studio, brother. That's a warehouse.
Yeah.
That's an arena.
Freaking probably like 200,000 square feet or something. It's massive. But he was with his daughter North and Bianca. I don't know if they're still together or not. So, yeah. So I was
to be honest, sorry to interrupt. I'm like you, bro. I don't pay attention to
this
stuff. So I wouldn't
at
know.
the time. This is like a year ago. So I don't know where they're at now. But it was him and his partner and his daughter North, and he was like, immediately when I pulled cards out and he knew that I was a magician, because I had already been in his space for a bit and I didn't get to show him magic the previous day. So when I took the opportunity, like the next day when I was there, he was like, everybody come here. And he starts calling over like the models, his wife, his daughter, like, and then it's like, I was just trying to show him a trick and get his reaction. And now I have a whole like crowd. And then if you remember, he was working on like some projects with like foam. So he just has this giant foam block in the middle of an like empty room, bigger than this table, and then it's just like 7-8 people standing around this phone block. I'm like, okay, cool, we're doing this. And I remember when I did the trick and it was the moment, he was like impressed, but his impressed face, it only lasted for a second. Like,
but that's all you needed.
He was like, another one. Do you have more? Like immediately, like a kid, he was like, yo, that was cool, but what's next? And that was like, that was cool because I wasn't actually expecting to have him want to do more and like everybody to be engaged in that way. Usually it's like I do something that's impactful and then it gets the reaction and then I'm doing it for the clip usually, in that type of setting. But because it was more of a personal like engagement and we were kind of like in each other's space for more time than just that, he was like, all right, like what's next? Like, let's go.
And did you have stuff prepped? Were you like, all right, cool, like if I see Kanye, like you knew you were pulling up to his studio, Did you have some stuff in the back of your mind? Like,
no, a deck of cards in my pocket, that's
it. So that's it. You're always prepped with that.
I'll tell you a crazy story. So after that day, he hired me for a magic show. That day when that video was taken was on a Wednesday. And then 2 days later, he had a party for one of his boys. And it was like one of his boys' birthdays. And he had like this massive like warehouse party in downtown. He hired me for that party. And on the way to the party, I had to make a stop at my house because I didn't have my magic bag. There's a bag full of things that if you're paying me to do anything, I'm going to bring this bag. And, you know, it's not a big bag, but it's like the essentials. And went to the house. I'm like, bro, sweating. Like, I'm like so pressed because I'm like, I have no time. I have to go to my house, pick this bag up, and then go all the way downtown. And I'm in Ladera, like, so by Culver City. I get to the house. I probably have 10 minutes tops. Because I have the car waiting there. Like, you know, I just added a stop to my house. For some reason, I didn't have my key to the house, and there was nobody home. And nobody was even close to home. It was like, no, I'll be home in an hour. I'm like, dang. So I couldn't get my magic bag. Ultimately, I had to go to the event with one deck of cards, and that was it. And so I did magic for 6 hours. 6 hours in a warehouse party for Kanye West. With one deck of cards.
Oh my!
And had the entire room floored. And this is why, again, my approach now, that was a like defining moment and a very like molding type of experience for me because it forced me to get back into my like creativity for one and the fundamentals of like what I've been doing the longest. There's a reason I carry a deck of cards everywhere. It's because I have 10 years of experience with cards specifically. There's other things that I do, but that's like my expertise. And so with that, I had to become so creative with a deck of cards and then using other things and then eventually use nothing because they'll ask you, do you have anything that's not cards? And then that's when you get into the mentalism bag or the this, or you borrow a watch or and then it was just wild. Like, I was so mad, and I actually didn't charge them the rate that I wanted to for the event because I didn't have all the tools I needed. I mean, I could have charged them a decent chunk, but I was like, integrally, I can't even, like, I didn't bring my best. So I'm going to give you guys a different rate.
But I appreciate your ability to, like, still perform, man. 6 hours with just a deck of cards. Bro, that deck is your sword. That's your tool. And that's really, like, when you need to lean on something, it's that deck of cards. I really appreciate that, though, because it's almost like we overcomplicate things by thinking, for me, I train some martial arts. Like, I train some kickboxing, Muay Thai, that type of thing. And it's that corny Bruce Lee quote of 1,000 kicks is better than, a bunch of different types of kicks and weapons. But it's so true, man. If you can stick to one thing and master it, it's so much better because you're always going to have that thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you want to diversify, you want to round it out, you want to have other things as well. But what's in the magic bag, bro?
That I can't say.
You can't hit. Okay. So,
I mean, it would just be other tools that weren't cards, essentially, that would allow me to do things that, I could do without a deck of cards.
I respect it.
But with, like, nothing in my pocket except for a deck of cards, I still had to perform.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I appreciate that. And look, one thing I really liked about what you said is, like, magic is an equalizer, right? Like, I love this concept because, to me, like, my premise from when I started this show, I've had some pretty big name people on. I've had, like, whatever, all the clout stuff. I live in Miami. Trust me, I know about the yachts. I know about these influencer parties and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, bro, we all take a shit every day.
Yeah.
We all put our pants on one leg at a time, and I look at everyone at eye level, bro.
Unless you're a magician.
Unless you're a magician. You don't, I guess. Shit. This guy just wakes up and they just float on. That's it. I love that, though, man. I mean, magic is an equalizer.
Yeah.
I love that, you've obviously, it's cool, it's fun to talk about, like, the celebrity stuff, but then what's your favorite type of magic to do with people? Obviously, there's the card stuff, but, like, with your friends or with people that you really, truly care about, what, like, brings you the most joy?
I would say the unexpected moments in everything. I mean, it's not a specific type of client or a specific environment or circumstance, because, again, there's unforeseen circumstances and experiences that come from everything. So it's the moments that you can't plan for that are more magical than even the magic itself. And that's, like, what I look forward to in every event, every booking, every, like, private showcase, corporate, anything that I do. I look forward to the moments that I don't plan for that either make somebody laugh or show a core flaw or show the, like, genuity of the authenticity of the art. Like, it's a live performance. You're bound to drop a card. People think, oh, you're a magician, you're not going to drop cards. I drop cards all the time. I mean, as long as I've been handling a deck, I drop cards all the time. I mess up tricks sometimes. I get things wrong. Sometimes the most magical things that happen, I couldn't have planned it, and I just have to take credit for it because I'm the magician. And I'll tell the people, and you won't believe me. Like, I literally will tell you, man, I didn't even know that was going to happen. And they'd be like, nah, bro, you're messing with us, da-da-da-da. And in my mind, I'm just like, dang, like, that's wild. Because, there's just things that you can't plan for.
I appreciate the humility, bro. How, like, you walking around now, interfacing with reality with this insane, 1% skill set, how do you feel about how impressionable the human mind is? And, like, is anything, like, how do you stay then, like, back and grounded in just, like, normalcy when you know how much you can bend people's reality and perceptions?
I mean, I don't exist in any realm of normalcy.
There you go. That's the perfect answer.
That's not possible for
I love it. But then how do you manage that? Like, are there moments where you, like, start to slip up and lose yourself as well?
No, I mean, because I create my reality, and most people think that things are happening to them because they've taken themselves out of the creator seat. So the only time that it's disrupting for my presence to be in somebody's space or vice versa is when they're unaware of the seat that they sit in, which we all sit in the seat of the creator. And so because that's true, there's a level of seclusion or a level of, distance that I keep between myself and everybody. I'm not a easy person to access. I had the same conversation with somebody yesterday. Like, my core inner circle is, 5 people, 6 people. And then outside of that, yeah, I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. I might meet a lot of people, shake a lot of hands, but, the amount of people that actually have access to me is very limited in the grand scheme of, like, I don't go outside, I don't party, I don't do the conventional extracurricular activities that a regular person would, because of how intentional I am about my presence and about my, like, the creation of my reality. And so at the end of the day, it's, for me, all about being of service, and anything that I choose to be a part of, I just bring the same level of energy to. And ultimately, I've had to learn that everybody doesn't deserve that level of energy and that level of authenticity that I bring in whatever room I decide to be in. So it's just it's a path that many people wouldn't succeed on or thrive on, because it's isolation is necessary at times, sacrifice is necessary, discipline. There's a lot of different things that you don't I didn't plan to be this way. Like, when I took the path of, like, being a magician, I didn't know that it was going to make me highly spiritual. I didn't know that it was going to lead me to be a unicorn in, like, rooms, like an anomaly. Like, I wasn't planning for this. I was just following my passion and following my love. So, it's a short path, a long, narrow path.
There's something very spiritual about that, and I can tell just how intentional you are with everything. That's the word that just keeps coming up. And even from when I met you, like, this guy's, the word's not calculated, but this dude is very intentional with every word that he says, with every expression, with every download that he's taking in. And yeah, you're very spiritual, bro. What's your spiritual practice consist of?
I mean, I feel like first we have to define spirituality. And by nature, everybody would be spiritual because spirit means breath. So in that sense, the awareness of breath and the awareness of your presence and your consciousness is, the forefront of everything that you do, whether you're aware of it or not. And so for me, I do things to remain aware and remain aligned and in tune, like fasting or like vocal fasting, intentionally and purposefully or purposely engaging or not engaging in certain environments. Like I said, I don't go out and party. I don't, you'll never find me in like a club unless I'm being paid. But probably, maybe not. I mean, I don't take every, opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that, I stay to myself in those ways and try to, get in nature as much as I can. I'm outside walking my dog every day with no shoes on, grounding. I feel like meditating is a part of my daily activity, but not in the sense of
sitting down, cross-legged, eyes closed. Yeah.
Meditation happens right now on a regular. It's the awareness in moments where, the noise and the chaos is around you. So, yeah.
Talk to me, or how I want to word this is, when you walked in here today, you said that you haven't spoken all day. You just broke your vocal fast. First of all, I'm honored that you would break your vocal fast for this and spend some time with me. What is vocal fasting and why?
So vocal fasting is the intentional decision to not speak and to not communicate with anybody for the purpose of taking the seat of the observer. And by taking the seat of the observer, you learn to not identify with things that are happening around you, and that, or things that are happening within you as well. So as emotions arise, or as, things happen that you would usually be like, dang, look at that, or man, what's that? The saying of, energy goes where attention flows, or yeah, that's the saying. Energy goes where attention flows is, it's like you realize that all the things that you would be paying attention to, and just that phrase in and of itself, paying attention, it's a currency. Your energy is a form of currency. So
there's a cost.
Yeah, you are not even aware of how many different things that you give your energy to.
Yeah.
With words, or with your attention. And then again, like the lack of, or the absence of your words and your responses to certain things, it allows you to be more aware of, like, if an emotion arose that you would usually say something about, you don't have to identify with that emotion. You can just observe it and then see it and then detach from it and allow it to pass.
Yeah.
In a way that's probably less damaging or detrimental than if you were to say what you were thinking in that moment or act off of that emotion.
Wow. That's powerful, bro, because I think of it like a GTA character. You kind of are observing yourself from the third person almost.
Yeah.
When I meditate or get into states of meditation, I find myself watching me and observing these things. And my biggest conclusion that I always come to is, I'm not my thoughts. I'm not even my beliefs. There's even no I. It's just this collective consciousness. But that detachment is really hard to do without some form of intentional, I don't want to say starving, but fasting and being aware. And whether it be, for some people it is just sitting down, eyes closed, whatever. For others, for me, what really works is just going for a long walk and trying to not look at my phone or just leave my phone home altogether. Remove those inputs and observe my thoughts as they come in. Now, I'm not good at this. Like I have a million thoughts, a million judgments, a million negative things pop up, positive things, up, down, left, right, everything. But just trying to catch that and, there's that thought again, there's that judgment again. Let's be aware of it and detach from it and realize it's not me.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult. It's not easy. And, there's a misnomer that spiritual people have, like, an easier way, or like the path of like somebody who takes an intentional approach to their existence is a more difficult path than pretty much anything else. And these things they're simple. Like, it's not complex to understand or to execute, but it's not easy just because it's simple. It's simple to understand. It might be a 1-2 step, but the first step might take a long time.
It's simple, but it's not easy. Yeah, I kind of understand now that so many people who've done incredible things or whatnot go on these silent retreats or these meditation retreats and whatnot. And I'm realizing this as I'm talking to you right now, like that might be something of value for me to explore, because and this is, the vocal fast sounds like a way to ease myself into that, where I'm gonna just start with let's try an hour. All day I'm interfacing with people. All day I'm talking to people. All day there's these transient interactions that take and give from my energy all the time. And the only way that I have found so far to protect that is my morning and my night, the bookends of my day, are sacred.
Yeah.
Everyone can fuck off.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. All day I'm extremely extroverted. I'm doing all the things, but I want to try to intentionally bake in those moments of solitude throughout the day, because I definitely experience a lot of anxiety just with all the inputs.
Yeah.
I'm literally like, my business is in social media.
Yeah.
I'm constantly like, I wake up, and this is one thing that I'm really trying to work on, but wake up and I check my phone, just my frequency is just completely taken and high cortisol and everything. I'm just now reacting. I'm not fully present anymore. I've already lost my presence within the first 5 seconds of waking up.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be more intentional with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But going on like a week-long meditation retreat just sounds like, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna do all that. But something like this seems like more sustainable, and I can bake it into my day.
Yeah, it's something that's readily available to you right now. It's like, you don't have to pay for this trip. You don't have to, the only thing that you're paying is attention. And that's
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that, man. Well, that's not the only type of fasting you do. I mean, you're protecting your energy in other ways. Tell me about, what you put in your body as well, and how that impacts.
Yeah, so I made a decision to vocal fast in every moment that's unnecessary for the last 3 months. So this was a decision I made at the end of September. And I was, the decision was for October, November, and December, fasting for 3 to 9 days straight for the first.
Just water?
Yeah, water and tea.
Water and tea.
3 to 9 days for the first 3 to 9 days of every month. So for the first 9 days of October, I did 3 days for October. I'll probably do maybe 6 days for November, maybe 9 days for December. Outside of the 3-day fast, fasting from rise to 6 p.m. and breaking fast at 6 p.m. with no dairy, no bread, and no meat. I don't eat meat anyway, but I do eat fish occasionally, but no fish. So I think that the choice to intermittent fast on a daily basis has been super, super like rewarding for my energy, and just like how much focus I have on the tasks day to day, because my brain moves so fast, and it's in a different type of way. It's like it's non-linear. I feel like my brain, the only way I could describe it is like the multiverse. Like, there's so many different things going on at the same time, and productivity for me might look like chaos for somebody else. And I jump from this thing to that thing, and I realize how much energy that I don't have when I eat the wrong foods, or when I am spending time on tasks that are not aligned with the goals that I've set for the week. And so you just are kind of forced to get into a reflective state by not speaking and not eating. And then when you're in a reflective state, naturally you're like, okay, well, I can't eat, so like, what am I going to do right now? So okay, if I'm going to do something, it's going to be productive. Like, you naturally just get into a productive groove. And then it's like, oh, like, you look up and it's 6 p.m. and like, you can eat, but you did this, you responded to that email, you made this plan, you did this, and your days just become so much more productive. So the idea behind it was that I have a lot of momentum building right now in my personal brand, in my business, and, a couple other ventures that I'm on. And I didn't want the momentum or the energy to die out like at the beginning of next year. I wanted to carry this momentum into the next year. And allow the work and the infrastructure that I built to take me all the way.
And compound. Exponential.
So it was like, this decision to exist this way for the next 3 months is going to be exponentially beneficial for the future me. Like, me next year is just thanking me right now. Because I can't, I'm not going out. I'm doing everything for me. For the last 3 months of this year.
And outside looking in, someone might interpret that as selfish,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's the highest calling in order that you can do is like you're operating from a place of what is your highest self.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like your future you is like creating that reality from the present.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very similar kind of realization, obviously manifested in a different way, but about 8 months ago, I needed to get out of Miami. I was just like starting to get too sucked into just the comparison and craziness and whatever. You could probably relate with LA. There's a lot of that. And so I left. I went down to Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
I was living there for the last 6 months and quit drinking,
Mm-hmm.
started training like twice a day, really protected my mornings. So
Mm-hmm.
I really, really got into just spending time alone, solitude.
Yeah.
I found that a lot of the drinking, the going out, the partying, the hanging out with people, all just a distraction and a crutch for not actually feeling and processing emotions and not feeling things. And so I needed to reset that. And now it's been over 3 months. I haven't had a sip of alcohol.
Yeah.
Don't really plan on going back. I feel great. Lost like 20 pounds. And I'm just like, yo, I just want to keep this going. And I'm seeing my life exponentially. It's like God kind of winking at me and being like, all right, you're on the path. We'll give you, we'll show you something.
Yeah.
And now I had just decided to, or 5 months ago, around the same time, I decided to go pro with my podcast.
Yeah.
This thing I've been doing since 2019, this thing that got me out of my 9-to-5 job, traveling the world, meeting amazing people like yourself. I was putting that on the back seat, and I was like, no, I got to like build my business. I got to keep doing 100K months. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to make all this material success that we all know. We all hear a million people being like, that won't make you happy. I'm like, yeah, I'll learn that lesson on my own.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, let me actually see what I can do if I really lock in. Like everyone says lock in. I'm talking about like, let me see what I can really prove to myself. What happens when I like starve myself of these things that honestly were distractions. Made me reevaluate all my friendships. Made me reevaluate what baddie was I following on IG. I don't need that. Let's get rid of that. And now it's just like constantly auditing and removing and cleansing. And so I really do want to start adding the vocal and the food fasting as well to that. So I appreciate it. You changed my life today, bro.
I appreciate that. I mean, my words were, I hope they resonate. But yeah, like you said it best, like all of these things that we, appear or we perceive as necessary or fun, a lot of devilishment is hidden in fun, like a lot. And it's like, oh no, we're just out having fun. But really the people around you that are just out having fun, when you start to achieve that version of yourself that you're not speaking to that person or anymore, you're not going out to eat, you're not going out to party, you're not drinking, those people you realize don't actually want to see your elevation. Or
they would try to like feed me shots. I'm like, I'm good, bro, but I'm here.
Yeah.
And I just took it out completely.
Yeah.
It's just easier to not have the cookies at the crib.
Yeah. And that's being intentional with your presence. Like that's being intentional with your time. Because when you really, people always say time is money, but like how much money? Like how much money? My time, I created a formula. I was like, if I was worth $1 billion, which people are in this day, there's billionaires. If I see myself being worth $1 billion, right? How do I break that down into time? And I broke that down all the way to the very second to know how much money I was worth at a single second, a single minute, an hour, 10 hours, a day, a year. If you take that $1 billion and divide it by 360, you get how much money you're worth every day. And then if you break that down into 24 hours, the number that you're going to see, if you're striving to make $1 billion or if you're striving to make $1 million, take $1 million, divide it by 360, divide it by 24, and then see how much money you're wasting. Because if time is money and you want to build a business that's worth $1 million, you want to, achieve these different goals, but you're sitting and you're scrolling on Instagram for 3 hours, or you
just wasted like $86,000 that hour.
You just wasted so much money. Because if that time, you have to look at time as currency the same way. If you invest that time, imagine, even if you don't have the tangible physical money right now, you're investing that money. You're investing $20,000 in that hour. You're investing $100,000 in that hour. These are the things that, people have to look at if you really want to be successful. And this is not like, oh, you're going to just make it if you do this, that. No, it's not that. But if you start making incremental changes to the way that you look at things and change your perspective on how you engage with time and people and energy and places and things, then you'll really start to make a lot more of a difference in your daily life.
I started doing this exercise about around the same time as I made all these other changes I was telling you about, where I printed out an actual sheet and I read it every morning of like the different identities that I am latching onto in this season. For me, it's the athlete, the artist, and the entrepreneur. I literally feel like I can step into that. I'll study Tom Brady or Jordan or Kobe or whatever, and I'm like, I try to tap into that for my athletics, then entrepreneurship, then artistry. And like the thing, this podcast and everything that I'm trying to do, this is what I'd be doing if I had all the money in the world. So right now, this is the best investment that I could possibly be making. This is what I feel like I'm called to do. And I started doing, on the other side of that sheet, I write 3 wins that I've already experienced today, like before I've even done it. And I actually signed this sheet. It's a contract with myself every single day. And that has been such a powerful ritual for me to like kind of buy back my frame of like, yo, what am I even doing?
Yeah.
And you realize that all these billionaires or whatever success looks like to you, whether it's money, relationships, whatever, these people, they like these old heads with billions of dollars, whatever, they would trade everything to be our age right now. So we are already rich. We are already abundant.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do with that? Are we going to go piss it away at the club? Are we going to go do dumb shit?
Yeah.
Spend it with the wrong person? Hell no. No chance. Yeah, absolutely not. Not worth the negative investment.
For sure. There was a conversation that I had with somebody, and he said, he asked me what the purpose of what I'm doing is, right? And I was like, well, I just, magic. I want to share magic with people. I said, oh, I want to build the circumstances for like genuine human connection. Like I want to be of service to people. I want to create spaces where people connect authentically and genuinely. And he said, well, if magic is the tool and that's your mission and that's your goal, what would you be doing if you didn't do magic? I was like, well, I make music sometimes. Like, that's cool. Like, probably make music or probably do this thing or probably do that thing. And he said, you know what the problem with your generation is? He said that if your goal is to create the circumstances for human connection and you only do magic, let's say 4 hours a week when somebody books you, or 8 hours, what are you doing for the rest of the time? If magic is the tool to accomplish the goal of building human connection and building those bridges, then what are you spending the rest of your time on? And if you didn't have magic, would you not be doing anything in order to reach that goal? And that made me think like, damn, like if that's the mission, then everything that I do has to be geared at that. And then it becomes like, well, I'm not doing magic. I'm not performing right now. What am I doing? And that just kicked in a whole different level of intentionality in like everything that I'm doing, because it's like, okay, now everything becomes a tool. It's not about what I'm doing, it's about why I'm doing it. And the why drives the what.
Yes.
But everything that I do is a what. It doesn't matter if it's a podcast, it doesn't matter if it's walking down the street, buying a coffee, whatever I'm doing, my intention should be
framed from that
towards that why.
I love that, man. And that's where the obsession comes in. When I say, like, when I talk about like a Kobe, we've all heard that story about him waking up, doing one workout, then another workout before most of us have even woken up, then another one, doing 4 workouts when most other people do too. That obsession, that like laser focus on one thing, it can apply to everything that you are doing if you have that why super clear, bro. Man, I feel like I could sit here and talk with you for hours, barely scratch the surface.
Absolutely.
But it is not that deep. I would beat myself up if we didn't do a magic trick on this episode, bro. So hit me with something if you are willing. I don't know if I could afford your rate, but yo, let's run it up.
Let me see. I have a deck of cards with me. I have a deck of cards in my bag.
Always prepared. This guy's always got the deck.
Cards it is. Let's just be sure that all the cards are different. They're not all like the exact same or anything. It's not all 2s or all 3s or anything like that, right? Let's see. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take... Let me shuffle them up, actually, since I just looked at them. Do me a favor. Cut like maybe a third of the cards off the top, just a small portion, and turn them face up. And you can put them back on top face up. Same thing, you're going to go like more than halfway down though this time. Perfect. So I want to show you that, I mean, obviously you saw that all the cards are different, but, you know, if you would have went a little further, it would have been like a 5 or a 6, or maybe a little bit deeper, it would have been like a 4 or a 3 or an ace. But what we're going to do is we're going to use the first 2 face down cards. Sound good?
Mm-hmm. Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. You're going to hold your hand above the table, just like this. I'm going to give you this card. It's going to be the King of Spades. Fair? All you got to do is hold the King of Spades. Cool. And then we'll take the box. The box will be like the second hand. And the 2 of Hearts, that'll be the second card. 2 of Hearts here with the box on top. Now, I want to try. I actually like this card. They look like arrows a little bit. These are the moments I was talking about. You couldn't plan, you know. I couldn't have planned to cut to a 2 of Spades, but we're going to just use the 2 of Spades, kind of like a magic wand in this sense. If this one is pointing at the 2 of Hearts and this one is pointing at the King of Spades, if we were to switch it, we'll start with your hand since I couldn't possibly get under there. What do you got over there?
Ain't no way, bro.
I don't even want to touch it. Lift the box up for me. I don't even want to touch it.
Nah, bro. What? Bro, I had my hand there the whole time. I watched. My brother. Thank you for coming on. It's not that deep.
My absolute pleasure.
We'll do many more of these, God willing.
Most definitely.
Thank you so much, bro.
Looking forward to it.
He's the real deal. I'm not making that shit up. You didn't pay me for that. Bro, insane. Thank you for coming on the show, bro.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Where can people find you, connect with you, work with you?
You know, my persona my character, the Visionary Noir. You can find me anywhere. THE Visionary NOIR. That's on Instagram, YouTube, all that. Other than that, if you want to hit me up, book me, info@visionarynoir.com. You can visionarynoir.com for my website. It's my professional, you can see all the cool things I've done.
Bro, this guy is one of a kind. I'm telling you right now, he is the most underfollowed, underrated dude at his stage right now. He's about to pop. I know 2026, bro. That's rocket ship. Rocket ship. I'm honored that you spent some time with me today.
Absolute pleasure.
Hopefully we can continue to build, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Just remember, it's not that deep, baby.
It's not that deep.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.